Well, 5 years ago, Nick Mason put together a supergroup celebrating the music of Pink Floyd, and they're heading down under for a tour later this year. We're delighted to welcome Nick live from London. Nick, g'day, welcome to News Breakfast.
Thank you. Pleased to be here.
Well, we're rapt to have you. I cannot believe it's 50 years since Dark Side of the Moon. Did you think when you were recording that album that people would still be loving it, that we would still be talking about it half a century on?
It was unthinkable, of course, because at that time, rock and roll would seem as entirely ephemeral that it would be there for a few weeks or a few months, and that would be it. So we knew it was good, but we didn't realise it was going to come and hang around for 50 years.
How do audiences react when you're performing with this supergroup as you've been doing over the last few years?
Well, it seems to have gone down really well. The thing that we do that's slightly different to all the tribute bands, and indeed to what Roger and David do on their solo shows, is we concentrate on early Pink Floyd, the music before Dark Side of the Moon, which is a lot of songs written by Syd Barrett, but also some of our earlier works, and including a couple of movie soundtracks that we did at the time.
It was so experimental at the time. Can you remember, I'm making you sort of go back to memories 50 years ago, but what was going through all of your minds?
Well, of course, I can't remember a thing, but I'm very good at making it up now.
Okay, well, make it up for me, Nick.
It was the idea that we would improvise rather than just playing everything exactly in the same way every time. And so it's a return to that sort of thinking. And by using some very gifted musicians from other genres, I think we've sort of found something that we're really comfortable and really enjoy playing. And that's the reason I'm doing it. I realized that actually what I really wanted to do was go out and play music again.
And we're watching you from years past. There was some footage that I saw from Pompeii in 1974 when you performed there. Here it is, we're looking at it now. You would have so many memorable moments, but was that one of them?
Yes, it was, because apart from anything else, we actually played in this remarkable place. So it was a live show, but without an audience. But because of the amphitheatre and that knowledge that people have been sort of performing there for literally 1,000 years plus, it was a very special. It was a special event, and I'm only sorry that I can't bring my. I think I had a particularly good moustache around that period,
so
which I think was now lost forever.
A little less of the hair. Hey, another thing that I've admired about you is your passion for the history of music and diving into it. I know that your podcast was very successful. What do you think of the latest crop of musicians? Do you sort of have artists that you admire for what they're trying to do?
Oh, yeah. I think the main thing is how gifted and how expert young musicians are these days. I mean, when I was a boy, if I'd gone to my music teacher and said, "Please, sir, I want to play the drums," it would have been like a scene from Oliver Twist. The drums? Unthinkable. The teaching of electric guitars now is absolutely brilliant. And my grandson actually can play all sorts of really tricky drum parts that I'd really be struggling with.
How tricky does it make for you all the infamous riffs that have occurred between members in Pink Floyd? I know also there was some talk about selling your back catalogue. I don't know whether that's still on hold. How do you feel when you sort of look at what's gone on with the relationships?
Well, it's sad, really, to see your friends fighting. But having said that, I think there's also an element that you always have to accept that sometimes the best work is done with that little bit of duress of disagreement going on. So I think there's a positive side to it, but I'd far rather we grew old gracefully rather than punching it out.
Nick Mason, it's been great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to seeing you in Australia later this year.
Yep, September it should be.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Nick. Bye.
All right.